Okay, today is the big day. Today is the day I'm going to build the bed former, which is going to go in the back of this. And the design itself should be fairly simple. What I mean should be, basically what I'm thinking is I'm going to use 2x8s on the two sides, attach them to the back of the tiller, and then put a bunch of wood on top, like 2x6s or something. And A, that hopefully should weigh it down, and B, that should be able to get this to where we can be able to make our beds. The tiller is 5 feet wide, and the beds we want to make are 2.5 feet. So basically the bed is going to be about half the size of the width of the tiller. Reason we want to do that is I want to make sure that these beds, if I had to, could fit within the wheel areas of the tractor. So if we had to go over them for any reason, we could do that. Plus, we're going to be using a middle buster at the end of the season on the roots, vegetables, and I felt that would be easier, because I was afraid if it got too much wider than that, the tractor tires are going to be actually on the bed itself, and it might destroy some of the crops. So that's the theory, at least. So what I'm going to do before that is I'm going to go into the area that we only made one pass on yesterday. I'm going to make 2 passes, because that's the area I'm going to be field testing the bed former with. Is over it on the camera there. It'll be on the left side. So Andre does not want to disrupt the actual bedding that we're going to be doing at this weekend until we actually field test it a little bit. And in order to do that, right now it's tilled only about 4 inches on the left side, because I only made one pass. So I want to make about 3 or 4 passes to get it down to 7 inches also, so it can be an apples to apples comparison. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Then I'll start building the bed former. Okay, here's the basics of the bed former. Andre wanted me to field test it before it would get finished, because what I want to do is that I want to put wood all the way across the top here, so if any dirt won't spill out. So that's the theory, at least. I have a strap. The strap is just there to make sure that when have that thing picked up, it's not going to be dragging on the ground. That's the only reason for the strap. And so it is definitely off the ground by a little bit. So that should be good. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to go over there, field test it, do a row, just see what it does, and then we will go from there. I got 2 bolts. I got 1 bolt on this side, 1 bolt on the other side. These Ironcraft tillers, they actually had an extra bolt hole. Let's see if I can zoom in here. You see the hole there. I did not make that hole. That hole was already there. So, oh good, here comes Andrea, so she can film the first test and see if this thing actually works.
And here is try 1. Not sure what's going on, but there he goes. think with the added weight, we'll not, I don't know. Definitely need to work on something, not exactly sure what. But definitely needs some more weight because it's popping up. So that's try 1. We'll see what try 2 does.
Okay, we're proceeding forward. Andrea thought that the back was not completely aligned, so we moved it a little bit. We added the wood up on the top like what we wanted to, and if you see that little 4x4 sticking underneath, what that is that is cut at 45-degree angle. Let me show you the cut piece here. So there's a 45-degree cut piece, and what this is for, we want to create a little trough down the center so we could put fertilizer and stuff in the center. At least that's what I recommended for the onions.
Onions and leeks.
Onions and the leeks. We figured the garlic and carrots and beets and everything would also benefit from that. So it's a piece that's about, I don't know, about 16 inches long. So if this piece here, if this is inverted and that's the top, or better yet, let me do this. All right. If you see that there, you see where it's cut at a 45-degree angle? Then the idea is to have it where when the dirt comes in, it'll just go around it and create a little trough. I have no idea if it's going to work, but that's the theory at least. So we're hoping that the added weight is going to help with this, and we're going to go to the next bed over and see what this does. If this doesn't work, then we're going to have to put weight on the back of this. So let's see if this works.
Here's try 2. He's getting into place. I think we're gonna have to add some more weight. Evidently not as simple as we thought. Let's see what he thinks when he comes back. Hold on.
Okay, this is my reaction evidently, other than me doing a little drunk tilling because it's not exactly straight. The bed things seem to work. I still don't think it's getting as deep as what Andrea wants. I'm going to try to go over again in the same spot to see if that can't level it out. So what do you think?
We're going to try that. It's either that or it's more weight.
So let me try that and see what happens.
Pass 2. Definitely looking better. See what he thinks when he comes back.
Okay, here's my reaction of the second one. I think it's looking better. It's definitely better than the first one that we did. The top of it seems to be, now when it was coming out the back, was it coming out to the top or not?
No. And I don't know if that's because of needing more weight or what.
Well, the other thing could be the strap thing's getting in the way, but the problem is if I let go of that strap, it'll probably just drag on the ground.
Right.
But we can try that.
What, undoing the strap before you
Yeah, I'll
start?
get it into place.
Undo the strap and then do the strap up when you get down to the end?
Possibly. I don't know, but we can try that. Because did the strap seem like it was taut the whole way?
As taut as it is right now.
All right, because it's taut right now. So, okay, let's try that.
Alright, this one is, strap is released, so we'll see how that does. Guess he's gonna try another row. See how that does. Or park it.
The reason I put this here is I was just going to stick weight on this. I was
Okay.
going to grab the 2 cinder blocks.
Yeah, I was thinking it needed weight, but you might need to lay it down before you do that.
Why, the weight's going back here.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, it's the 4th bed with some cinder blocks. Let's see if the added weight makes a difference. Life on a farm, trial and error. Off to the races. That's looking more like what I was thinking when I hatched this whole plan from watching many YouTube videos of bed formers. So thanks, YouTube. she gonna... Come see his handiwork. I guess we're doing 2 passes to see how it does. Maybe that's the trick. Probably needs another cinder block. We're doing our rows this direction for any watershed, so that it directs the water to the lowest spot of the property and keeps the water away from the plants, so that they don't get drowned should we get a monsoon like we did last year. Things you learn after gardening for a few years. I'm thinking another block might help. With that second pass, it almost got it perfect. What do you think?
Thinking it looks better.
Yeah, it definitely does look better.
What do you call that?
Walk path.
Oh, I have not been recording this entire time. That's awesome.
I had it recording.
Oh, well, I paused it. So, okay, we had a little faux pas there. Oh, I'll blame Andrea for that. And
right.
I thought I was hitting record and I hit pause instead. So anyway, I think we're getting almost there. If you look at the first one here, I mean, other than the drunk tilling, that was with no top and pretty much no weight. And then the last one, which is the one I just did, that had the 80 pounds of weight to it, plus 2 passes. So I think adding a little more weight to this and making sure that the
strap is loose.
That the strap is loose, I think is going to be the way to go.
I mean, these other two would be fine if we're planting single row crops, because we can plant in the trench. The trench is not that deep, so we can plant in the trench and just put it.
Yeah, because the potatoes we're definitely going to be doing a single.
And then just side dress.
Yeah. So, but no, I think this looks pretty good. And I think if we can get to this point or better, I'll call it a win. The good thing is the clay or the sand forms up pretty well once it gets compressed. I'm still going to be concerned if we get a monsoon what that's going to do to it, but
well, that's why we wanted it to be built up and have the walk path down low so that directs the water there and around.
Right. And
plants.
so, but no, I think I pretty much called this a success. I mean, who knows? We might actually start looking like farmers one of these days. Okay, here's the final design. I added an additional strap on the one side, and as you can see, it broke on the way over here. So when we go out the next time, I'm gonna have to get straps that are heavier duty than this, because these can only have a 500-pound capacity. And when that thing bobs up and down, I'm sure it does more than 500 pounds. So I'll see if I can get this to work. But basically, it's the same thing as we did yesterday. It's going to be, I'm going to go through all of them. I'm going to start from this direction and see if I can be able to duplicate what we did yesterday. And so the goal is to get 10 rows done. So hopefully this is going to work. Okay, I ended up doing 11 rows because evidently I was not exactly at 5 feet in between, but I think that looks good. Every single one of these was one pass except for the first one. The first one I had to do 2 passes, but the rest of these I just had to do 1. And as you can see, there's a nice deep trench in between, and they're formed up really nice. All of this took less than 30 minutes to do, and so having the extra weight on the back of that really helped. So now the next thing we're going to do, today's planting schedule is going to be the onions and the leeks, which are going to take about a row and a half, I think. And so we're going to come out in a little bit and do that. I want to make sure that we have sun in the area. It's supposed to be in the 50s today, so I want to make sure that we actually have sun over the entire thing, because it's not the coolest in the world, but it's not the warmest in the world either. But it's about, I think about 9:30 right now. And so call this a success. And our little trough thing in the center that Andrea wanted so we could put fertilizer and stuff in worked out beautifully. And so that you have a nice crisp line in the center of these rows. And that'll also help me when I go to line it up with the middle buster at the end of the season. So I'm impressed. Andre is in getting the seeds and everything ready. And then next stop is planting the onions and leeks. Okay, we have 3 of the onions planted. What you're looking at right now is the Texas Super Sweet, and we have about 150. They told us there's going to be a minimum of 48 per bunch, and there were 2 bunches, so that would technically be like 96, and we have about 150. So here's the Texas Super Sweet, and then over here is the Spanish Yellow.
Sweet Spanish.
The Sweet Spanish. This is the one that might or might not grow in our area. About how many of those?
106.
We have about 106.
One bunch.
That was one bunch, which means we got over twice as many as the minimum, as what they guarantee. But the kicker is going to be, which ones were these? The red what?
They were the red Creoles.
The red Creoles. All right. Talk about tape measure in a minute. But here's 61.5 feet. So we ended up with almost 250 of these out of 2 bunches. So we were counting on about 96, and we got almost 250. So it's a good thing we ended up with extra rows, because it looks like we might need them. And this does not include the garlic, which might or might not be more than what we think that's going to be too. Yeah. So that's a good thing. Now we also have the other half We have 2 more onions, which are double packs, and we have the leeks.
Yeah.
And so the leeks, we know we're going to have about 100 or so of the leeks. So they're pretty much about spot on. So that's good. So yeah, we just finished watering them. And so I think we're going to call it for today because our backs are hurting. But reason for the tape measures is these are supposed to be spaced 6 inches apart. And so us being in the architecture profession, I know there's instruments out there that you can do for spacing, but we just felt it'd be easier to just take 2 tape measures, and we knew about how far they needed to be from the center. And so we just threw the tape measures down, and then we just, every 6 inches, we just popped one in. And so that might or might not be adjusted in the future, but for right now, I call that pretty good. And so tomorrow we're going to do the other ones, and we'll see how many of those.
Cabanoli or early white, Texas early white, and the Lancelot leeks.
All right, the leeks are the Lancelot leeks. We have the Texas early whites, and we have the Capanolis. So that will be planting tomorrow. So it ended up being a good thing that my aunt's garlic did not get here, because we'd have to be doing all that in addition to all of this. Okay, it is Sunday morning, and we just finished planting the last of the onions, and we planted the leeks. We were supposed to get, they said each of the packets was going to be a minimum of 48. Well, the term minimum would apply, because we ended up with about 1,000 onions and 100 leeks. And the winner is the Texas early white. That ended up being almost 300. That's what the final row is over here. We have skipped rows because when the garlic gets here, then we're going to plant garlic in between the onions. And then whatever we have left, because we still have carrots, we still have beets, we still have cabbage, we still have potatoes. Potatoes have not arrived yet. Actually, I don't think they've even shipped yet. But yeah, so it looks like we're going to have potentially 8 to 9 rows out of this. Originally, we thought we were going to have 5. So, and it also depends on the garlic. When the garlic final count is going to happen, we might end up with more garlic than just 3 rows. So we will see. So yeah, first weekend of planting is done, and so far so good.